All right, good afternoon, dear parents. Good afternoon. How are you doing this beautiful rainy afternoon? It's been raining in Abuja, where I live. How are you doing this beautiful afternoon? All right, so have you participated in our flash sale? So we started a flash sale yesterday for 5 amazing books. I just wrote 5 amazing resources for young children that you want to get. So we started a flash sale yesterday, and parents have been getting into that flash sale and getting our books at a 40% discount. Good afternoon. My name is Maribeth Chima, and I am the founder of the Parenting Through Mentorship Academy. Yes, and the proud matron of the Mastermind Circle and the author of Bedtime Stories for Champions and the Skill Up series. All right, so today I have been thinking, right? I've been thinking about, a quote, right, that we use a lot. We use a lot as parents. We see a lot as parents. And I was in a session today, and I was in the Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro challenge today, and that came up also with Coach Wendy. And it's that simple phrase that says we should train up a child in the way that the child should go, right? We have used that phrase over and over again, and today I had to stop to reflect on what that way the child should go could be. Have you really thought about it, right? Have you really sat down, have you really sat down with that quote, or have you really sat down with that charge that says to train a child in the way that they should go and they will not depart from it? What I think is, most times when we think of that charge, when we think of that quote as parents, especially as religious people, the only thing we think about is, teach them about God, and that's about it. But during my reflection, I thought really deep, and I realized, I realized that it could actually be, deeper than that, okay? Not like, teaching them about God is not deep. I'm saying it could actually be broader. So let's not say deeper. It could actually be broader than, what we give it, or the attention that we give it. And it can actually be simpler than we think it is, right? So in the Mastermind Circle, a peer mentorship and accountability group that I run for children, right? For kids between 5 and 10, right? Where we mentor them, we get them into the space of self-development, basically. We call the Mastermind the foundation school for self-development, because we believe very strongly that there is a way to introduce children to there's a way to introduce children to skill, and it's different from the way that you introduce teenagers and other people, into that space. There's a way to get children into whatever programming or whatever skills or whatever it is that we want to see in their life. So with children, there is a peculiar way that you do this. So that's why in the Mastermind, because it's a foundation school, we come in a way that it sinks. We come in a way that it becomes a conviction for the children. We come in a way that the children do it with a sense of, joy, right? We come in a way that there is zero shaming, and there is more of conviction, and there is more of trust and belief, right? Now, in the Mastermind Circle, we say that, Jesus, the young Jesus, like the child Jesus, is our model, right, in the Mastermind Circle. So the child Jesus is our model that we look at when we're thinking of who we should be as young children. And while I was looking at that quote, train up a child in the way that they should go and they will not depart from it, I started thinking, right, models. So if God is saying do this, there should be a model of a child, right, that has been trained in the way that they should go. And who better fits that model than, the Son of God himself, right? Who better fits that model of, the way that a child should be trained. So when we come back and we look at the young, Jesus, I started looking at that and I realized there is so much to be drawn, from so much in this conversation to be drawn just looking at it from that perspective, and I started looking at some of the attributes that Jesus had. We've looked at that over and over with the children in the mastermind circle. So they know this, they understand this, Jesus's attributes and why you as a child want to, internalize and imbibe and model after those, virtues and values that he had, basically. And let me take you through 5 of these, for this conversation. Now, Jesus was seen to be spiritually rooted, right? He was spiritually rooted, right? And so in Luke chapter 2, verse 4, right, it tells us, when his parents, left, they had gone with him and they left, they were traveling back home and they didn't find him after 3 days or so. They had to come back. When they were looking for him, they went to the temple and it was in the temple that they found him. What was he doing at the temple? He was in the company of what? He was in the company of scribes. He was in the company of, religious leaders, basically. So he was rooted, right? He was rooted in his religion, spiritual things, basically. So meaning that if we are going to raise children in the way of the Lord, right, so that they will not depart from it, because there is a way. The way that we should raise the children, train up the children in the way that they should go, is not necessarily the way that we decide as parents that is the way that they should go. Because you can have a way as a parent and yet your way is wrong. You can have as a parent, you can actually be parenting from a template that is flawed. You can be parenting from what you know, right? What the people who raised you have taught you, or what you have seen, what they've modeled to you, or what you have been modeled to, right, generally. And that may not be the way. That's maybe all wrong for your child, right? Because if you go now and you begin to look at parenting styles, you will see all kinds of, horrible, terrible, good, bad, ugly kind of parenting style. So there has to be a template that is higher, a template that is higher than, just what works for us as parents, just what works for you as a parent. And I think at this point, to look at a template that, that God has created himself, to look at a family that God has prescribed himself would be a good example, basically, to go with. So yes, Jesus was spiritually rooted. Right. Now, the next thing was he was curious and he engaged in learning. That's what he said in Luke 2, chapter 46. He was engaged in learning. So when we start talking about that children should be engaged in learning beyond just grades and coming tops in class, this is what we were talking about. That was not some academic exercise that he was involved in. That was him, speaking with teachers and speaking with, spiritually sound people, speaking with educationally sound people. So meaning he had a sound mind, meaning he was invested in learning and he was invested in depth, basically, with the knowledge that he had. So when we say to parents, let your children read books, you will hear things like, he doesn't like to read. What do we even mean when we say our children? You have your 8, 9, 10-year-olds and you say your 10-year-old does not like to read. So please, what does he like to do? Your 10-year-old does not like to read for knowledge. Your 10-year-old does not like to take a book and read the book because he wants to gain insight. Your 10-year-old has not been guided, has not been taught to pick a book and read because he wants to increase his knowledge base. Your 10-year-old you are not putting your 10-year-old, your 8-year-old, even your 6-year-old in that space where they understand that for every subject there is knowledge in depth. So meaning if you want to know more, then you need to read more. Today in the Mastermind Circle, right, in the month of July in the Mastermind Circle, we are looking at, health, our well-being, and living healthy lives, basically. And the tool that the children are working on today is they are researching their internal organs. Now, I told them, go and look at, I'm not saying go and write me an episode. I'm saying go and learn the function of your heart, the function of your brain, the function of your liver, your kidney. Go and learn, because if we are going to say to children, you need to cut down on the fizzy drinks, you need to cut down on the fat, you need to cut down on the bad food, you need to cut down on all of these, we need to bring them to the point where they understand why they need to cut down, not just because mommies or parents are boring and they don't want you to have fun and they don't want you to eat nice, spicy, oily, white flour kind of things. We need to help them understand how these things that they eat affects the things that are the powerhouse, basically, that is carrying them. I say to the children in the mastermind every time, I say, your body is the one that is housing everything that you are. If you don't treat it well, one day it will fail you. And when it fails you, you are out. You don't live anymore. You don't exist anymore. All right. So if we don't get our children to understand, we need to get them to the place where they understand the why behind what we are asking them to do. And that's what we do with these young children. That's what we do. We don't just give them, there's a place of instructions, but we don't leave it as instructions. We leave it, we also invest in helping them understand the why, right? Because the person that understands the why is actually better than he that just understands the how. So that's what we do. So the more they do this, and that's because we have a model that was invested, that was curious and wanted to know and invested in knowledge, gaining knowledge. It was said that he studied, the young Jesus started studying the scrolls in the temple. So why are your children not studying the scrolls that we have today? Why are our children not reading books? Why are we not introducing our children to reading books? Why are we not making books a part of our children's lifestyle? When we created the books, when I created Bedtime Stories for Champions and Skill Up series, okay, the two series that we write on that, makes up our 5 books that we have just written. And for this series, the Skill Up series and the Bedtime Stories for Champions series, when we created this, it was because we wanted, materials or tools that we can use to help children cultivate and we can nurture the love for reading. So we are introducing books in subtle ways. We are introducing books in story-like manner. We're introducing books in ways that will be appealing to the children. And we have not left it at that. We have created the opportunity for you to have conversations with the children as you go along or as they go along reading these books. So yes, we are not just preaching and shouting, read books, read books. We are saying read books because it is the right thing to do. We're saying read books because it is the instruction that we've been given to raise children in the way that they should go. Raise children to be lovers of knowledge. Raise children to be people who seek knowledge. Raise children to be people who are curious about the things around them and understanding the things around them. And if we are creating materials that will help children understand the things around them, we're creating materials that will help children understand values and virtues. We're helping skilled children through these materials. Why not? This is why we have put our new books. We decided to put the new books out there for us to get at a whopping 40% discount. The flash sale started yesterday, and right now is about 8 hours to the end of the flash sale. So if you have not ordered copies of Bedtime Stories for Champions and Skill Up series, we have 3 different bundles. 3 bundles. One of the bundle is 10,000 naira. It's made up of books for children between 0 and 6. Beautiful books, amazing books, transformational books that you can read with your children. Yes, you can read during bedtime stories. They are books that you will relate to as a parent, you will connect to as a parent, you will be excited about as a parent. And so it is contagious. Your children will be excited too, and your children will learn from those books. packed with knowledge, packed with lessons, packed with values, yes, and packed with beautiful and, empowering stories that are relatable, African stories and stories, of everyday people around. So yes, if you have not ordered a copy, if you've not ordered any of our bundles, run. After this, just check in the comment section. The team will drop the link right there in the comment section. Just click on that link or just simply type flash in the comment section, and we would send you a link that you can use to join the flash sale and obtain, one or more of the bundles. We have people buying all 3 bundles. We have people requesting for 5 of one particular bundles. Why not? If this is a call that we have been given, if this is something that will help us raise our children in the way that they should go. Number 3 is Jesus knew his purpose right from the beginning. He was not confused. Jesus lived in purpose every day of his life. No wonder at 33, he could do everything that God has called him to do at just 33. That's because he wasn't waiting for a particular time in his life where he will arrive and he will encounter and he will meet his purpose. He lived every day in his purpose. Every day. What am I here for? What can I do today? What difference am I making today? How resourceful can I be today? How productive can I be today? This is how we raise the children in the mastermind circle, by the way. We help them understand their superpower. That's what we call it. What you do that you do so well. What you do that you love to do. What you do that you do better than a lot of people. It means that the world needs you. Somebody needs you. Someone out there needs you if you do that thing better than other people. So that way the children see themselves as people who are who have capacity. And so we help them, we push them, we nudge them, we give them reason to pursue this capacity or pursue those superpowers that they have, hone them, practice them so that they are building mastery. And we say to them, you don't even have to wait until you are a master in it. Do something about it beginning today. So we have children who are already doing public speaking, who are already musically inclined. We have children who are already building, creating, selling stuff, venturing into entrepreneurship and all of that, because we let them know that we live every day in our purpose, just as the young Jesus lived every day in his purpose. The next one and the last one I'm going to be sharing, okay, Jesus was obedient. He was an obedient child. Scripture says that he went to Nazareth and was obedient unto his parents. All right, so he understood the place of honor. He understood the place of honor. He was resourceful. Even when his parents were not there, he knew. We were not told that he was afraid. He was crying. He was looking for who to take care of him. It was said that they were apart for days. So meaning he actually ate food in those 3 days. He slept somewhere. He was taken care of. He had a bath. He took care. So he was resourceful. He was able to adapt, right? That is it. And that's what we're talking about in one of our books, right? Far Away from Home. All right. Far Away from Home was a story of a boy who was away from home and had to adapt to the conditions that he found himself. We have created characters that will become models for your children. Characters that will model cultural intelligence. Characters that will model adaptability. Some of us, our children cannot cope the moment we leave our space. In fact, when they say, or when you have to be away, or when your children have to go somewhere, grandpa's house, your grandparents' house, or somewhere, the first thing you are thinking about is where they will sleep, how they will sleep, or what they will eat. You are always concerned about making the environment around your children perfect, as far conducive, the way your home is. So we can't allow our children go away from us for a minute, because we know that they are incapable of adaptability. All right, so even when we take them to boarding schools, we look for the coziest, the coolest, the warmest, boarding school with the warmest beds. That's where we take them. All right, so we are creating characters that these children will see, and they will look beyond you and your mother henning and your helicopter parenting, and they begin to build themselves even when you are trying to drag them or put them down. So we give them books so that books can empower them. All right, we give them books so that they can learn perspective and they can begin to build their own perspective. All right. Enough of having our children read rubbish books. Enough of having them read books that make no sense. Enough of having them read books that just teach them how to be, hurried or wimpy or whatever. All right. It's about time that they start reading books that will build them, build their capacity, get them to start thinking at a higher order level, right? It's about time our children, especially because they are growing. Why is your 8-year-old, your 10-year-old still reading the kind of books that they read when they were 5 and 6? This is what we are talking about. All right. All right, Jesus grew in wisdom and in stature, all right, and he had favor, right, with God, meaning he grew in all dimensions. He grew in all dimensions. He was not just growing in his schoolwork. He was not just doing well in school, having A+ in school. He cannot cross the road on his own. He cannot go down the road to Malam to even buy something to save his life. He can't even make food for himself to eat when you are not there. If you are not there and see Mabong or Bosse or someone is not there, they are confused. You can't even step away for one day and leave your children. You are looking for everybody to put around to cushion your absence, basically, just because on their own they can be resourceful to themselves. On their own, they can't do anything on their own. No, Jesus did not just grow. He grew in all dimensions. That's what he said. He grew in stature. He grew in wisdom. He had favor with God. So he grew in all dimensions. Parents, in what dimensions are your children growing? Is it just about going to school? I tell you a little story. So our son started exams yesterday, right? He started exams yesterday, and on Monday, yesterday's Tuesday. Okay, started exam today, or today. I think I can't remember. One of these days, anyway. But before the exams, during the weekend, he actually said to me, "Mom, I don't know, can I be exempted from, helping out or from cooking? Can I be exempted from the kitchen during the exams?" And my daughter, my 10-year-old, said to him, "No way, you can't. Are you not going to eat during exams?" That's what she said to him. She said, "No, you can't. Are you not going to eat during exam?" By the way, she's writing exams too. So she said, "No, you can't. Are you not going to eat during exams? You're going to eat during exams. So if you're going to eat during exams, so why would you be exempted from working or helping out in the kitchen or cooking during your exam?" So it just simply means, is there a way that we can make it easier, faster, quicker, or earlier, or something like that? And I said, "Oh, okay, all I need is 30 minutes of you in the kitchen." All right, so it's like, okay, when I come in before I rest, can I just get that out of you? I say, at your pace, anytime you want, just sort the little and I will finish up for you guys. All right, and that's the length I will go. I will finish up for you. But to say, "Oh, you're writing exams, so you're exempted, oh, now you are going to Harvard, hey, because you are going to Harvard, nowhere else is important, it's only Harvard." No way now. All right, so we need to help children grow in all dimensions, and this is very important. Reading, getting your children to read books, getting your children to love books, getting your children to invest in books. Parents, investing in books is you helping your children to grow in all dimensions. That is what it is. Don't get tired of buying books for your children. I say this all the time. Do not get tired of buying books for your children. If you have budgets for tomato and pepper, if you have budget for DSTV, if you have budget for all of these things in your home, why not create a budget also for books? It is time for us to build or raise children intentionally to be wise and sensible. It is time to raise children intentionally, right, to be knowledgeable. It is time, in the world that we are today, if you are still raising children that you are hoping will stumble on knowledge on their own, like our parents did with us, right? They sent us basically to school and they said, "Oh, they've done their part. I've sent him to school. I've sent her to school." If you're not invested in raising children who are versatile, you're not invested in raising children who have a huge knowledge bank, who basically are growing in all dimensions, then you are not being advantageous to your child. You, dear parents, should be an advantage to your child. So yes, if you have not ordered copies of our books, it's a whole 40% discount. Yes, and it's a 40% discount in the flash sale. That flash sale ends at 11:59 p.m. today. So you want to rush. You still have a whole 7-8 hours thereabout to pre-order. Don't leave it for later. Don't wait till you get home. Why don't you go right now and use the information? I said all you need to do is type flash in the comment section and we will attend to you. A week from now and you'll be buying this book. Yeah, you'll be buying this book for much more. You're going to get testimonials. You're going to see testimonials after testimonials, right? And you will have to buy these books at that point, right, when you see those testimonials. And you'll be buying them for 40% more. Why would you want to do that? So why don't you go ahead and order straight up so that you can enjoy this, the benefits or this opportunity of the flash sale. All right. So thank you. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. All right. I just thought to share this because it was so profound, when I was reflecting about it. It was really profound. And I thought to share with you. If you have questions, please put them in the comment section. And yes, go and pre-order, right? You still have some time. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm signing out. My name is Maribeth Chima. And yes, your child can also be a part of the Mastermind Circle. I talked about our peer mentorship and accountability group, all right, for children. Such a robust program that we have. Our next cohort begins on the 1st of September. This September, right? It's a foundation school. So we start like a normal school starts because it's school, yes, and you come with school. It's foundation school for personal development. Your child will learn all about embracing mentorship, all about developing themselves, all about directing themselves, all about making good decisions, all about habit training. We would raise children with you that you are able to convince or pass your convictions to, because we want to start early to get the right voices into the ears of these children. So the moment we can secure ourselves in their ears and in their hearts, then we're sure that the teenagers that we are about to, raise, or the teenager that they will become, will be ones that will be resourceful, productive, like the model that we're talking about today, the young Jesus. Thank you again for joining me. Have a fantastic rest of the day. All right. I can't wait to take your orders at the pre-order. All right. Take care of yourself and God bless you. Bye.